Alright, I'm going to Digivolve and end my turn. Alright, cool. Forgetting something? What did I forget? Like when you Digivolve, my turn's over. I Digivolved and it went over 0. Dude, you gotta draw. Draw every time you Digivolve and it's starting your turn. Oh, I knew that. That's it. I'm making a shirt that says don't forget to draw. Hey guys and welcome, and that's exactly what happens every time I play with my girlfriend. Or anyone that's new. They forget to draw. I got fed up and I've been wanting to do some merch. So I am officially announcing my merch store and it is going to be linked down below. So check out this cool shirt that I just launched yesterday, and I ordered myself one because I'm going to wear it every time I play with my girlfriend. So please feel free to check out my merch store. I have a lot of merch there and I will be coming out with some new merch as time goes on. Anyway, let's get into today's video. So here we go. Hey guys and welcome, and thank you so much for being here with me, and today we're going to talk about the new BT8 WarGreymon and a deck list that I made. And I'm sorry it's taken me so long to kind of come up with this deck, but I kind of wanted to do a lot of play testing, and there's just so many ways you can go about with WarGreymon, and there's so many WarGreymons out there and so much support, which is pretty cool. Anyway, let's dive into this, and I am running 4 of the Coromons here, just because when you attack you draw, it kind of gives you a faster drawing power. And then moving on, we are playing the new BT8 Agumon. This one, when you play it, reveal the top 4 cards and you get to add 1 card that has Greymon in its name and Dragonkin. This does apply to Cyclonemon, the new one from BT8 as well. I was using it, and we'll get there. Moving on, we are using the promo Agumon that gives you that gives your Greymon on your turn 2000 DP for the turn. If you do not have this Agumon, you can always use the other one that's in a starter deck, I believe, that gives you 1000, or any of these that I put up here. You could use those to increase DP, but this one is pretty nice because you don't have, it's not specific. It doesn't say it gets 2000 DP when you attack a player or a Digimon. You just get it regardless, no matter what you attack. And then we are gonna kind of turbo this. I kind of want to make this as fast as possible, since, you know, for example, Pyodramon is very, very fast. So I kind of want to get it to a level, but it's very difficult. It's not there yet. We are running BT5 Agumon. I'm running 4. On play, reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck. Add 1 card with Greymon and Omnimon from your deck, and then add the rest to the bottom of your deck. I was running 2 of these, and then I was running 2 of the promo Agumons. That also works well since I am running Nokia here, but to me, I kind of just want to get my pieces much faster. So that's why I just ended up sticking with 4, but whatever you want to go with. And then moving on into our, I was about to say ultimates, into our champions, we have 4 of the new BT8 Greymon. It's black. You can Digivolve from a red and a black, obviously. On your opponent's turn, while you have a red Digimon in play, this Digimon gains blocker. So keep in mind, if this, let's say you go on top of the new Metal Greymon, you have a red Digimon in play because it's dual color, therefore it being black. If you were to Digivolve into a black Digimon, you can't get blocker because you won't have a red Digimon in play unless you have another separate Digimon that's red. So just keep that in mind. He is very, very great because when you get to the new BlackWarGreymon, you can swing, right, and then you can unsuspend if you delete a Digimon. And then if you block, and then let's say you delete that Digimon, BlackWarGreymon's effect kicks in, and now he restands, potentially you being able to block twice per turn. Really, really nice. Moving on, I am running 2 of the BT5 Greymons. When Digivolving, if this Digimon has Agumon in its Digivolution cards, gain 1 memory. The Inherit is, as long as it has Omnimon or Greymon in its name, it gets 2000 DP. The reason I'm using this, it's because the BlackWarGreymon has 12,000 DP, and the other WarGreymon that I'm using has 11. And if I, for some reason, can't get the DP buff from Agumon, I kind of have another 2 more chances to get it from this Greymon here. And it's really great because sometimes you need to swing over that Mastemon, or you need to swing over that Impyodramon fighter mode, because they're both at 13,000, and you just need that extra DP. Again, you could swap this Greymon out for Cyclonemon. Cyclonemon is a fantastic option because it's not only dual colored. His inherit, when you attack, you can delete a Digimon with 2000 DP or less. So it does give you the option to control the board more. So again, you can choose any Greymon or Cyclonemon. I even thought about putting 2 Agunimons in there just to close the game out. I haven't tried it yet. I will try it and we'll see how it goes. So moving on, of course, we are running the starter deck 1 Greymon with security attack +1. If you don't have this one, there are other Greymons that you could use, like the one that gives you 2000 DP at the bottom as an inherit, or you could substitute this to have 4 of these Greymon and then 2 Cyclonemons, whatever you choose. But this Greymon is just to kind of add more aggression and really try an OTK. You're not really gonna OTK in 1 turn, but you're able to kind of chip damage quick, and that's what you want to do, because with Impyodramon, Mastemon, whichever one you're fighting, they're pretty quick, and when they go off, it's very, very difficult to stop them. Going into our ultimates, I am running 4 of the Metal Greymon BT8. When digivolving, de-digivolve 1, and then after that you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. That is fantastic. This goes really well with armor, because when you digivolve, you can de-digivolve the armor, and then therefore now you can resolve Metal Greymon's effect and delete the other Digimon, or the Vmon, or whatever's underneath, delete it completely without even attacking it. And that's kind of another way to go over armor purge, is just by digivolving it and then deleting it, because at that point you can't purge, because they are at level 3 at that point. So I am running 4. What makes this so, that digivolving effect is disgusting. Mind you, this works for anyone. It's not restricted. So if they have a fighter mode, if they have a Mastemon, whatever it is, you play this, you digivolve it, and then you can delete another Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Doesn't necessarily have to be that one that you digivolve. Keep that in mind. And then his inherit, which is just as disgusting. While this Digimon has Dragonkin or Machine in its trait, it can also attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. So this makes it so you can attack any Digimon you want on board, and that is absolutely disgusting. I know a lot of people are using the old BlackWarGreymon with this one, and I have yet to try it out. I will try it out, and I will probably put up a deck list if I make a good one. And here we go. We are running the EX1 Metal Greymon. I think this is the second best that you could run. When attacking, when this Digimon attacks a player, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. That is very nice, because you can delete things like Stingmon, XVmon. They're both at 4000 DP. So it kind of helps you, stop their aggression with DNA digivolving. You can kind of prevent it. The only thing that sucks is at 7000 DP, and Dino B and Pyodramon, they're both at 8000, so it can go over it. However, again, that's why you have this DP increase, right, with this Greymon or that Agumon, therefore bumping it to 9, and you can swing over it if you need to. This one you could digivolve on top of a black, so if you have this Greymon and then you just digivolve into this Metal Greymon here, not only can you digivolve on top of it, but now you actually have blocker, because this Metal Greymon is red. And then moving into our megas, we got our big boy here, BT8 BlackWarGreymon dual color. This card is amazing. The downer of this one is that it costs 4 to digivolve. There's ways to get around it, but sometimes it's like it sucks, because you want to attack the turn you digivolve and you can't. When digivolving, if this Digimon has a red Digivolution card, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon. If this Digimon has a black card in its Digivolution cards, choose any number of your opponent's Tamers. Then, the chosen cards' play cost must add up to 6 or less. Delete the chosen cards. So, keep in mind, if you do have a Metal Greymon underneath this BlackWarGreymon, you can activate those both effects. So let's say they have a Tamer that costs 4, and then they have a Digimon on the field that costs 2. It adds to 6. You could delete both of those so long as you have a black and a red one underneath. If you only have one color, then obviously you can only use one effect or the other. And then this one, all turns once per turn. When an opponent's Digimon is deleted, unsuspend it. So a good play to do here, if you have your Metal Greymon here, you know, 8k, you can even swing for 10k, maybe possibly even 12. But if you have a Metal Greymon and then you have the security attack +1 and then the Agumon underneath, now you're doing 2 checks for 10k. And if you survive, that's a big if, right? If you survive swinging 10k +1, then you can go ahead and Digivolve into BlackWarGreymon, and if they have a Davis or Mimi, whatever tamer they got, then you Digivolve on top of the BlackWarGreymon. You get to delete it from his effect when Digivolving, and then since you delete Digimon, you can unsuspend this Digimon. Sorry, so it has to be a Digimon, not a tamer. But nonetheless, that's a combo that you can do. So you kind of check for 2, Digivolve, delete something, unsuspend, and now, you know, you can either attack if it's still your turn or it just passes turn. So that's a really cool, quick combo. And then moving on, I am running 2 of the BT1 WarGreymons. Sometimes I just want to run 4 of these. This WarGreymon is probably still one of the best ones, and it just sucks that his DP is at 11. With the increase of DP, you can get it up to 13. Anyway, this one, when you Digivolve this Digimon, gain security attack +1 for the turn. So keep in mind, if I Digivolve and then I swing, now it's +1, right? So now I'm checking 2 in total. And then I go ahead and Digivolve into an Omnimon. He still has security attack +1. So now you can check 4 cards with 2 swings, even if it passes turn, because you're gonna have Blitz, right? So that is nasty. That is very nasty. And then of course your turn, this Digimon doesn't activate security skills. On option cards, it checks, which is just phenomenal. Sometimes, you know, a lot of times me, when I swing, I'm scared of, you know, Gaia Forces or any option cards that can just delete you, right? So this card really goes around that, and of course the DP is low, but there is ways to go around that. But just keep that in mind. The security attack +1 when you Digivolve is for the turn. So even if you Digivolve on top of my boy here, Omnimon, then he also has security attack +1. Now this Omnimon BT5, really I have this one for Blitz. So in case, you know, let's say you end up checking the last 2 with WarGreymon, he survives, and you go into Omnimon and then boom. It's kind of like hybrid free game. And then, of course, when you Digivolve, you can unsuspend this Digimon, so that's what also makes it fantastic. Then all turns, if an opponent's effect would delete this Digimon or return it to its owner's hand or deck, you may prevent it from leaving play by trashing a level 6 card in its cards Digivolution, and this Digivolution's cards. Whatever, you get what I'm trying to say. So what's also cool is if they play a Gaia Force or I don't know why I can only think of Gaia Force right now, but if they play any option card that kind of gets rid of Omnimon, or they try and bounce it back to your deck, you can prevent it by trashing your level 6 and he still stays on the field. So more than likely they're not going to do that, but if they do, it's going to pass their turn. Omnimon's still there, and guess what? We about to swing, baby. So there we go. Moving on to Tamers here and some option cards. I am running 3 Nokias. 4 was too much, 2 was not enough. 3 is just a sweet spot. On play, you can play 1 Agumon. In this case, that's all we really care about because we're not running any Gabumons. Then on your main phase, when you Digivolve one of your Digimon into a Digimon card in your hand with Omnimon or Greymon, Garurumon, again, we're not running this one here, you can suspend her to decrease the Digivolution by 1, right? Or reduce, I should say. So, for example, you can play Nokia, drop any of this Agumon or this one, and now you search and now you get missing pieces. And then let's say you're at 0 because you played Nokia and you were at 3. You play that, you got this Greymon. Unfortunately, you can only Digivolve it on top of this one. But now let's say you go ahead and Digivolve it into that. You can even Digivolve it for free, because then you'll be able to tap Nokia, reducing it by 1. And then Greymon's effect, if you digivolve on top of an Agumon, you gain 1 memory, therefore it being 0. If not, if you don't want to tap Nokia, that's a good way to leave your opponents at 1 because you do gain 1 memory. So that 2 cost does go to 1. So it's a good way to memory choke. And obviously, you know, having Nokias does reduce BlackWarGreymon to 3 cost, WarGreymon to 2, this to 3, etc. And obviously, the more you have, the more it reduces. So Nokia is great. 3 of the ties, I was running Marcus. However, Marcus, he's a good memory set tamer, and when you attack, you can suspend him. If you're attacking with a Greymon, you can get a memory back. That's all fine and dandy, but again, I'm going for aggression here, and I just think Tai just plays better into that, because if you digivolve into this WarGreymon, now you're going to get security attack +2, checking 3 cards in total, or even if you have 2 ties, now you're checking 3, even potentially 4 cards, because you have Tai. And that's really why I have Tai, just because of security attack +1. All of your red Digimon with 4 or more Digivolution cards gain security attack +1, and of course he is a memory set tamer. So it's pretty cool. Let's say you have a Tai out and a Nokia, you have a Metal Greymon out, you want to digivolve to a BlackWarGreymon, you're going to get left at 3 because of Tai, and then all you got to do is suspend 1 Nokia, and then therefore costing 3 and leaving you at 0, and boom, playing combos there. Moving on to my option cards. Here we are running 2 Gaia Force from starter deck 1. The new one, Dark Gaia Force, it is amazing. Do not get me wrong, that card is absolutely disgusting. However, there comes times where you will not have a black Digimon on the field. The only black Digimon I have is the 4 Greymons, the WarGreymon, Metal Greymon, and the Agumons. There will be a point where, let's say your board clears, they clear your board for whatever reason, it's your turn. What are you gonna hatch? A red Digi-Egg. So you'll be able to play Gaia Force, or even this even Gigastorm. You'll be able to play these even if you don't have Digimons on the field. You can't really necessarily do that with Dark Gaia Force. So I did opt to go with 2 Gaia Forces. Not to mention it's not restricted to a play cost of 15 or less. It's just delete 1 Digimon, just straight up. So really awesome. And then security activate this card's main effect. Really, really nasty. And this Gigastorm here, wow, this card is nasty. delete up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon with 8,000 DP or less. I was running a Crimson Blaze at first because, you know, it doesn't restrict it to how many Digimon. It just says delete all Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. You could definitely run one here. You could at least put 1 if you want to. Gigastorm I went with just because a lot of the times, you know, going against Mastemon, they're gonna drop ultimates if they need it, and then they're gonna, you know, if they can't DNA, now they just have 2 ultimates if they don't have the Salamon underneath. Now they're gonna wait for next turn to do it. Those are ultimates that are 6,000 or even up to 8,000 DP. Playing a Gigastorm allows you to delete them because it's 8,000 or less, not 6,000 or less. Not only that, this can delete Pyodramons, this could delete Dino Beamons, which they're both at 8,000 DP. Crimson Blaze, you can't get rid of them, it's just 6,000 DP. However, of course, Crimson Blaze has that effect where if you play it, they can't play Digimon with security effects, which is also very great. That negates playing Zords or Digimon from Mastemon's effect, so they're both good. But I'm using Gigastorm just for now, and we'll see how it goes. And then my last 2 cards, I am running 2 red memory boost just to help me with the memory when I need it, since BlackWarGreymon does cost 4 and sometimes you won't get Nokia or you won't get Tai. And not only that, it also allows you to, you know, reveal 4 cards of your deck, add 1 red Digimon card among them, and that does work for the BlackWarGreymon because he is black and red. So it's a good way to kind of get BlackWarGreymon in your hand, and at the same time kind of prepare for next turn if you're passing turn to be able to activate this and gain 2 memory. So that is why I'm using red memory boost. And then a delicate plan. This one you can go with or without, totally up to you. You can use a lightning joust, you could add another Gaia Force, you could add whatever you want to add. This one, just a delicate plan. Just let's say I have one tie, and then I have a BlackWarGreymon with security attack +1. So now I'm checking 3 in total. And if I could delete a Digimon, because if I have piercing, right? Now I can check up to maybe 3 to 4 cards in one turn, and I don't want them to die. Then I'll just activate a delicate plan, which will allow your Digimon not to activate security effects from option cards that it checks. The reason I run 1 is because if this is in your security, it's just gonna go to your hand. So there we go, guys. This is my red, I was about to say black based. This is my red based WarGreymon deck list, and I do have a black base that I am still trying out, and as soon as I have a really solid one, I will make a video of that. And have you seen how Omnimon is actually pretty decent? Check this video out.